Hey guys, welcome back to Talking Sith with my man who's been talking Sith, which is aka Darth Vader. What's going on, bro? I heard you was talking mad Sith.
I heard you was talking mad Sith.
I don't know, bro. I heard you were talking Sith. Oh man, dude, it's been awesome, dude. Second episode, right?
Number deuce, part 2.
Yeah, second is the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess before we do start, guys, like and subscribe to both of the channels, as we are going to be doing this every Thursday, and just follow both of us and subscribe to us, and you guys know the rest.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and share, and always hit that notification bell to always be in the know.
Hit that bell, ding, ding, ding.
But dude, let everybody know. I guess we could talk about what we're talking about today.
We are talking about the Star Wars shows that are coming out, specifically the Acolyte.
Oof, my baby. That's my gem.
The Acolyte Day.
But before we do get into the Acolyte, let's talk about the other one. I know we were going to talk about at least like one of them. We can talk about Lando.
Yeah. Specifically, that's another show I feel like not a lot of people are talking about anymore. Like when they had the Disney investor thing,
right?
Like, oh, Lando show, yeah, Lando's getting some play, and then it just fell off. Like, yeah,
but let me ask you this question: could it be because of what happened with Rangers of the New Republic, and also too, they're not really talking about it? Could it be a show that maybe we think that is put on the shelf as well? Because we haven't heard anything about that show. Like, they've talked more about, like, obviously all the hit shows that we know are coming, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, but like even Squadron, Rogue Squadron, they're talking about that, but they haven't really talked about those other shows that haven't gotten love. The only one that's really gotten love is the Acolyte, which is pretty cool, but still.
Because it's different. At least like the other shows, it's like bigger characters that have way more exciting things. Like you got Obi-Wan, you got Ahsoka, which you already know is going to be like crazy. Yeah. Lando, it's like Lando's chill, smooth, so you don't think like there's anything there. And the Acolyte's going to be about Sith stuff, so everybody likes anything with the Sith. Lando is like a different thing altogether. So
and that's the thing. So like we were talking about this before, with Lando, you can get Sith because. Mm-hmm. Who's supposed to be appearing in that? Because that's technically Lando is technically AKA Solo Part 2. That's literally what it is.
Yep.
So in reality, you can get that, and we can get the Solo 2 that a lot of people did want. Because again, that was kind of like Rogue One, where it was 50-50 in the fandom. It was a 50-50. Again, people did like it, people didn't. People had a problem with it, didn't. But maybe focus more on, again, you could tell the story of Lando more, and talk about Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, like I said, this is Lando. I feel like is going to be about like the solo characters. You have the potential to put like you said, Crimson Dawn. You can put Kira back in there.
But she just
who's obviously working with. Yeah, she came back in the comics.
In the comic, yeah.
Way later on, like after Empire Strikes Back. But this is Lando. I have a feeling because it's going to be. Donald Glover is going to be before A New Hope, before, Rogue One, before all that. So it's going to be like...
You think we can see her possibly if we in the show?
Yeah, why not? Like, if they're going to use Donald Glover, why not throw Kira in there?
That's what I think, too. It would make the most sense. And, again, we got to see an appearance, and these comics are canon, so... they are touching on it. And who's to say, too? Again, we could possibly maybe see Boba Fett.
That's like a shot in the dark right there. But anything's possible with the Lando show.
Yeah.
Almost anything. We could even get Han Solo back,
Well, that's what I was thinking, too. I'm like, we possibly can. Again, we know that they were friends. So, friends/enemies.
Because in the Legends books, like they have like a bunch of different meetings before they meet back up in Empire Strikes Back, and Han always ends up screwing Lando over.
Yeah.
At the end, so that whole line, like, you got a lot of guts coming here after what you pulled, can be a bunch of minis. Yeah.
we can see that play out, and that's exactly what I was thinking of. And I'm like, well, that would make sense to see some of the things that Han did maybe a little bit before, because every time, he always ends up screwing Lando, so, and it would be cool to see, like, the rise of maybe Bespin, like of Cloud City, could see that too, maybe how he got up until that point. That'd be a good one to see too.
I mean, maybe, but the funny thing about that is they've already established that he doesn't get that until like way later, like pretty much like right before Empire.
Yeah,
kind of like when he gets it. Like he hasn't had it for that long. Like their first Disney's first touch of Lando was the comics with him and Lobot, and they're like stealing Palpatine's ship to get like these Sith artifacts.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Damn. So I mean, what could we get in this timeline? You think like just him doing some.
Him doing whatever, like him, like running and running and dealing. It could be anything. Who knows? Yeah,
some underground stuff, maybe underworld type of things, and
it would have to be because he's like a scoundrel. He's that dude. He's another Han Solo type. Like who'd get anything?
Yeah. Does he have the Millennium Falcon though in the show?
No, Falcon's gone. Han has the Falcon. And Han and Chewie are running drugs for Jabba. Like he does not have the Falcon back. Yeah,
that is true.
Come on, like what did you do to my ship? Like it's all dirty and it stains everywhere.
It defeats that. It loses that touch. Yeah. I mean, so what do we? Okay, so if we're gonna talk about Lando and then we also talk about Maul, right? So we're talking about like a Solo part 2, but continuation through Lando. What do we think we see of Maul?
With Maul, the only thing I could think of, the mainstay that would have to happen is the fact that he gets stranded on Malachor.
Yeah.
And that's in Rebels, and pretty much whatever they do with Maul up until that point, it would have to show him getting stranded or left on Malachor before he runs into Ezra and Kanan and Ahsoka and all that. So whatever happens with that.
Cool. So it leads into Rebels then, and then that's when does he see Obi-Wan?
He doesn't even know anything about Obi-Wan. Like, remember well,
I'm saying
him and
because I remember, because I'm thinking like, do we get that scene? Like, does that scene replace sometime? Like from Rebels, you think we'll ever get that live action of him dying? That's what I'm asking. Like, I know what you're talking. I know what you're saying, but I'm thinking maybe if he's there and then he ends up meeting later on like Kenobi somehow, because Kenobi could be in the Lando series too. You know what I'm saying? Like he can just pop in because he's doing that with other shows. So who's to say they can't use him just for that? Like, okay, Kenobi's done, but he could still, appear somewhere else. Why not? And maybe give us the live action.
At that point, I feel like it's reaching. If they're gonna do that whole thing where Kenobi kills Maul, I would say save that for actual Kenobi. Like do a time jump and then it shows that,
Yeah, but that would be so far though. Cause think about it, Maul dies when Luke is like 16.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know what they would, how or when they could do that, because if you do that, then you also have to show a young Ezra, because Ezra was there too.
I mean, they can do it. That's what I'm saying. I think it would be all the more. It would make sense to do it through Solo. I mean, through Lando. Well, same thing. Solo / Lando. I mean, that would be cool. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it there, because then that's a great scene to have in that show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like each show should have its own like big dramatic scene, and I feel like that would be such a like awesome scene for Lando for like that show. You know what I'm saying?
True, but I feel like that would kind of negate Lando as a character, because Lando doesn't have anything to do with the Jedi or Sith.
No, he doesn't. But I don't know.
Yeah.
That's me wishing, hopeful wishing.
Because like think about it, like even Luke being in the Mandalorian, like the Mando was there. The Mando saw Luke. Like like they were in the same scene together. You know, Lando wasn't on Tatooine with Ezra and Obi-Wan during all that stuff in Maul. So how could he have? That's why I'm just saying it wouldn't make sense for them to have that in the show like that.
Maybe, I don't know. I just think, I guess, like of an off scene or something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. But who knows? I know.
Wishful thinking.
It's wishful thinking, man. I don't know. It's wishful thinking, but I get you. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I guess I would love. You know what it is, man? I really like that scene like with Maul and Obi-Wan, and I think it would just like fit right for it to like we saw Obi-Wan originally kill him in Phantom Menace. It would make all the more sense to see it in one of the live action TV shows. You know, because you can't get it in Kenobi, so it would have to be something later on, and that's why it's either I don't know, like Andor. I don't know. It just
like I said, if anything, it would have to be in Kenobi. It would have to be in Obi-Wan. It would have to. It would make more sense for it. I mean, it would be weird, but it would make more sense for that to be in that show.
Yeah, but then you see, but then I think about it. How do you even incorporate that? Because that's that's 6 years later.
Hey, they do time jumps and like all these spin-offs or whatever or flashbacks. Like they've done a time jump in Rogue One. They did a time jump in Solo. They did a time jump in Mando. They even do time jumps in the TV shows. Well,
I mean, they did do a time jump in the Bad Batch. I mean, when we last saw that episode, it was like a week after, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a week later, and you know they find the lizard or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could see that and. I don't know, man. I guess so. We'll see what happens with that, dude.
It could be a post-credit scene, kind of like the Mando did with Boba, setting up, you know, Book of Boba. It could be that cherry on the top at the end of like the series, like, oh, hey, here's this at the end of the series.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm game for that, man. So I don't know. I hope and let's see what happens with that. And I would just love to see Crimson Dawn. That's really what I want to see. And maybe they could bring in Darth Talon, you know, somehow through that. That'd be dope because she even exists till after. She's around after even the Skywalker saga. So, I mean, she's still running, you know, Crimson Dawn even after, you know, in Legends and stuff. So, it would be cool to see that. It would be cool. It would be cool, man.
I have like a weird feeling, like, you know, like you said, we wanted to touch on Acolyte. I have a weird feeling because George really loved like Darth Talon. Like I feel like they're gonna use her for whatever is happening with the Acolyte.
Nah, I don't.
That would be the show. That would be the show to throw her in. You know, honestly, either before or after.
But her character comes. But that's the thing. It's her character's known to have been with Maul. That was his last apprentice. Well, in Legends, that was his last apprentice.
Well, in Legends, like, you know, she like thousands, like hundreds or whatever years with the whole like Cade Skywalker and Darth Vader. Like she's way later, and then they changed it to her being a thing with Maul. So she could be either or, honestly.
So we can say that she's been around for years. That's literally what it is. Because I would say she came around. She's known to have been around, like you said, during the Cade Skywalker era. That's really where she kind of like blew out more.
That's where she first came from. Like that's literally her first.
But
step.
But like also too, like through George's vision, she was around in the sequel era. Like she's known to have been like with Crimson Dawn. Like that was where the whole thing started. So that's why like I would love to see that if they could follow that route, because I don't think we're gonna really see Cade Scott. I don't think that's ever gonna come into play.
That's never gonna happen. And if it does, that'll be years.
Yeah,
it'll be like some years from now.
Years later. So that's why I'm hoping that they utilize her for something, because she could be a villain through Mando, dude. They can use her in the Mandalorian as a villain, because she's around that time. So
but my thinking is like my whole thinking is the fact that they would use her for something before, maybe in the Acolyte, for the fact that the Darth title and everything, like they stopped it. There's no more Sith like after Vader and Palpatine.
Right.
So they, you know, she'd just be a dark, you know, like a dark sider. She'd be kind of like Kylo, like not a true Sith, but used to the dark side. So, you know, so she'd just be Talon or something, you know? They'd just take off Darth or something, you know?
So let's get into it. Let's talk about the Acolyte. So, I mean, if you think about it, I agree with you, because let's talk about the facts. Number one, it is Sith-based. Number two, this is 50 years before the prequels, 200 years after the height of the Republic. So that would be dope. It would be cool to see that. Also, too, like, let's not forget, this is Plagueis time. So we can get him in the show as well. And they did say, I will say this, going back to Talon, this show is going to be heavily based off of female. So I definitely could see that where they introduce her and have her in that show. That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Could you imagine if they changed it around and had Darth Talon be Plagueis' master, or Plagueis' first apprentice before Palpatine or something?
I mean, it was said that he did have a female apprentice. It was never stated the name, if I'm not mistaken. There was never a name, but I remember in Legends, one of his first apprentices was a female. I just don't remember the name, or even if it is known that there was a name. But I do remember that.
Like I said, they could change it around. Like, they basically cherry-picked Thrawn from Legends in the sequel, you know, that whole era after Return to the Jedi, and basically made him canon, change his story up. Now he's, you know, before, like, the movies, like, he worked with Anakin Skywalker. Like, you know, they could do a lot of stuff with these characters.
It's true. No, it's true, man. I mean, and you see it, man. They cherry-pick a lot. Well, I mean, I think... I mean, what is it? Dave Filoni loves Legends, doesn't he? He's a Legends
fan. Come on. We have the Dark Troopers, Thrawn.
So
you know.
So if you think about it, I mean, if you look at a lot of his shows, and I mentioned that for a reason because he cherry picks a lot from Legends. Look at all the names that we've gotten in the sequels, in the shows. He uses a lot of those names that are in Legends and uses them for his shows, which I think is hilariously funny. So I think it'll be cool. I think they can definitely do something. I'm really looking forward to the show. And also too, dude, it was like literally dropped I think like a month or two ago, that we'll be getting Darth Revan in the show too, and as a hologram. So that's another game changer right there. We get to see him. And if that's finally like out there, because they've pushed his lightsaber, they've pushed the figures a lot. They're coming back with another figure. I think the archive line, right? Yeah, the Black Series, the archive line is coming out with another one. So, I mean, the medicine.
I mean, he's technically in the Clone Wars. He's mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, they have him in Rise of Skywalker as a statue, like in Palpatine's like temple.
Question though, wasn't that a deleted scene?
What, in Clone Wars?
No. Because I know what you're talking about. There's a statue there, or not a statue. Okay, so I don't know if you ever got to see this picture. There's a picture of all the ancient Sith, and literally, dude, it's not in the movie, but it was a deleted scene. I don't know if you ever got
to see it. Revan and Malak and
Bane, Malgus, all of them, like literally all of them, and it literally got cut, and I'm like, damn, dude, that would have been sick.
See, I haven't watched Rise of Skywalker enough to just like analyze the heck out of that movie and look in the background at the statues, but I do remember that picture and the concept art and everything. So I know they were toying around with that, but they did mention, and they even filmed, you know, Revan in like Clone Wars. It was a deleted scene, and then they even mentioned him too. So it's like, you know, they want to bring him in there.
We are the wielders of the dark side.
What do you want from me?
We stand before you, disciples of the dark side, intent on its supremacy. It has been foreseen that one lives who will control the universe.
Where?
It is unknown, but know this. The Chosen One is the key. He who controls Skywalker will control everything. We tell you this to guarantee your success.
And if I fail?
They want to.
I think they want to bring a lot of characters. I think they want to talk about Bane too, because Bane was another one that they talked about in Clone Wars. I mean, remember the one with Yoda? You know, when
he's in it. He's literally in it.
Yeah, he's in it. So I mean, that's another character too that we could possibly get touched on. Because again, that's still around the time of, you know, the rule of two. That's 50 years, so maybe like another like 100 years before, maybe, or two. So that would be kind of sick, dude. That would be really sick to get that in that show and it talk about the rule of two. And I feel like it would be a lot more established there, because after Bane, what was it? It was Bane and Zana, right?
I believe, I can't really remember, but
it
was one female Sith.
And I think it was Zana, and I think she was the one who actually killed him. It was, yes. She actually ends up killing him. And then I think after that, I don't remember. I think she does have another. I think she does have an apprentice too, but I think after that, like a few years later, then you get the whole Tenebrae, what is it, Darth Tenebrae and Plagueis. So, and then you get Plagueis and Palpatine. So that this show can go so many ways, dude. I really have high hopes for it. I think it can tell us a story in the sense of maybe it could give us the beginning of the Wheels of the Force too. Like it could talk about it more because I'm sorry, not the Wheels of the Force. Midichlorians. They can touch on that.
Yeah.
They can Plagueis. We can get the story.
With Plagueis involved in this, they could even tap into the whole Plagueis, potentially being and Palpatine eventually potentially being, the creation of Anakin from like the Plagueis book.
So let me ask you this. That's my question. I was wondering if Palpatine could be in this. Can he? Because he was 50 in Phantom Menace. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, he was 50 in Phantom Menace. So can he?
He's 50 in Phantom Menace.
Right.
I mean, he could as like a kid.
Yeah, because I'm like, unless the show is gonna go more than one season, and then they do a time jump.
You never know. You never know. Like there's a lot of possibilities of what they could do with this, especially since like Plagueis is like kind of old and like he's a Mun, so they live really long too.
Yeah.
So, they can do a lot.
And he's around for this, so this is like the beginning, so they can talk about the whole thing with maybe as time goes throughout the season and we do get a young version of Palpatine. Yeah, like you said, and like we were saying before, we can get the beginning of the midichlorians of where we learn about this, and maybe too we can learn maybe something about the Rules of the Force. They can touch on it a little bit more too, because they're all over the place when it comes to freaking Clone Wars. That I do have to say, it's kind of a little bit all over. So I would want to learn a little bit more about it, so I'm hoping, and I would love to learn, what Jedi they encounter before, during this 50-year time. I wonder who's
whatever Jedi they encounter, whatever Jedi they encounter in this show automatically has to die because they don't realize that the Sith are back until Phantom Menace. So whoever they see is like gone.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So
in some form or fashion.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, what are you expecting out of this show? Like, what answers do you want, or just in general?
Well, now that I kind of thought about it, I'm kind of hoping we get the, explanation of what Plagueis, everything. Some like touches with like Palpatine, and then maybe the midichlorians, and then maybe I kind of, all in all, at the end of the day, I want them to maybe answer the whole like, who created like Anakin. Like they always talk about, and they kind of touched on it in the comic books, like the Vader comic books, like, where you see Palpatine, with his hand over like Shmi Skywalker's stomach, and you see the swirling thing. So they kind of,
I remember that.
Hint, nod, like maybe something into that, because, that's like the biggest question, that's never been fully answered. And George almost did it in the deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith, where he's like, basically like, he's like hinting like, I'm kind of your dad.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. A lot of unanswered questions that I think we can get answered through this show. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it for what I got with that one. So I think this was definitely a good one. I'm excited for it. Anything you want to tell the fans that are watching? Anything else?
Like I said, they're not really talking about a lot of these shows, but a lot of these shows are going to be sleepers. Like, no, there will not be a Star Wars show that is like lame. Like, they're always going to have sleeper hits. They're always going to, have big cameos to get people invigorated about these shows.
Oh yeah.
Like, there will never be like, Mandalorian. We didn't think it was supposed to be a completely new story, and we got like the biggest returns of some of the biggest characters. So they could do anything with all these shows.
And they brought some characters from Rebels and Clone Wars. What am I saying? There we go. Clone Wars and Rebels.
Rebels, Clone Wars, original trilogy. Like, come on,
for real,
everything out of it.
So, Filoni, he did his thing. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much it for what I got today. You got anything else? Yeah, that's it, man. So, in reality, we appreciate you guys watching this one. This was a fun one.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait, dude. I mean, we can't wait for the next thing that they come out with after Bad Batch. And
After
Yeah,
Bad Batch, after Boba, after Kenobi, like there's so many shows,
I know.
movies too. Like there's a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah, and that's something maybe we could talk about the next one, maybe the movies, because there's been some speculation on the Taika Waititi one and it getting put back. So maybe we could talk about that one for the next episode. So maybe we'll talk about
possibly.
next. So yeah, we'll talk
Movies.
about that possibly. Yeah,
Rogue Squadron. We'll get there, guys. We'll get there. But this has been cool, guys. Thank you guys for joining us for this episode of Talking Sith.
Thank you, and stop talking Sith, bro. I heard you was talking Mass Sith. Stop talking Sith. We gotta end the show. Thank you guys for tuning. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe to both of the channels. Remember to hit that notification bell so you're always in the know, and follow us both on Instagram, as we are always posting stuff, or just in general, just there having fun. So thank you guys for tuning in, guys. Later.
May the Force be with you. Bye.